Welcome to Zero To Flutter. If you are learning Flutter in 2026, then you are in the right path. Without further ado, let's start today's video. In previous videos, we focused on building screen, buttons, navigation, and managing state with state or GetX. Those skills are essential, but as your app grows, adding new features or fixing bugs can quickly become overwhelming. Today, we are going to learn how to structure Flutter apps in a way that keeps your code clean, maintainable, and scalable so that future changes don't feel like chaos. This video is not for absolute beginners. You should already know your way around Flutter widget, state, and multi-screen apps. If you have only built small demo apps, that's fine, but techniques we cover here are meant to prepare you for real-world multi-feature Flutter applications. By the end of this video, you will have a clear understanding of how to organize large Flutter project efficiently. So let's talk about the problem we are solving. Most Flutter projects start small and for a while everything works fine, but as soon as the code gets messy, UI and business logics are mixed together. Widget calls API directly and state is scattered across multiple screens. When the app grows, small changes break unrelated feature and bugs appear in unexpected places. This is not because Flutter is limited, it is because project lacks a solid architecture. So every shortcuts you take today accumulates as a technical debt tomorrow. Adding new features takes longer, debugging becomes frustrating, and onboarding new developer is painful. Clean architecture isn't about perfection, it is about reducing friction as your app grows so that your project remains understandable and maintainable. Clean architecture is about separation of responsibilities. We divide the app into three main layers. UI layer, which is responsible for displaying data and handling user input. Domain layer contains your business rules and decision making logic. Data layer interact with APIs, database, or other storage mechanism. Each layer has a single responsibility, which makes it easier to maintain and evolve your app over time. In Flutter, we implement this structure like this. Presentation layer. All your widget and controller. In this video, we'll use GetX for state management because it's explicit and easy to follow. The domain layer, it defines your entities and use cases. That is the core business logic that do not depend on Flutter or any external libraries. And data layer, the services and repositories that fetch data from APIs, database or local storage. By keeping these layers separate, each part of your app has a clear responsibility which prevents your code from being tangled. The most common rule in clean architecture is the dependency rule. Presentation depends on domain, data depend on domain, and domain depends on nothing. This means your core business logic never depend on a UI or data sources. The logic remains stable even if you change APIs, database, or state management approaches. This rule protects your app from becoming fragile. UI can be redesigned without touching the core logic. The data sources can be swapped. For example, you could move from REST API to GraphQL without rewriting your business rules. This results in a project that can grow over a month or year without turning into a spaghetti mess. Dependency injection, or simply DI, is a practical way to enforce the dependency rule. Instead of creating objects directly inside your controllers or widget, you provide them from outside. This allows you to replace dependencies easily, mock them for testing, and avoid tightly coupled code. For example, instead of reinstating an API service inside a controller, we pass as a repository as a construction parameter. This makes your controller reusable and testable. Here is a simple controller that does not use dependency injection. It creates an API service inside itself. This tightly couples the controller to the service. If the API changes, the controller also needs to change. This is what we want to avoid. Here is a good code example. Now the controller receives the repository in its constructor. The controller depends on the abstraction, not in a concrete implementation. This is proper dependency injection. We can swap repositories, mock them for test, or update APIs without touching the controller. The repository pattern abstracts the data sources. The UI layer never talks directly to APIs or databases. The domain layer defines contracts and the data layer implements them. This ensures flexibility and makes your code more maintainable. The repository contract lives in the domain layer. It defines what the data is available and how it can be accessed. The data layer will implement this interface and handle the actual API calls or local database queries. The data layer implements the repository. It contains the concrete API or database logic. The UI and domain layers don't know or care how the data is fetched. They just rely on the contract defined in the domain layer. The recommended folder structure. A practical folder structure makes it easier to maintain large project. So in clean architecture, we separate our code in three different folders: presentation, domain, and data. The presentation contains widget, screen, and controllers. Domain contains entities and use cases. Data contains repositories and API services. The structure is simple, but it enforces separation and makes scaling manageable. For state management, we are using GetX in this video. So controller lives in the presentation layer. Business logic states business logic stays in the domain layer, and state management should never contain business logic. It orchestrates update to the UI based on the changes in a data or domain logic. When your layers are separated, testing becomes straightforward. A domain has no Flutter dependency, so it can be unit tested easily. Presentation can be tested with widget test. Data layer can be tested separately. This reduces bugs and makes long-term maintenance simpler. When to use this? You don't need this structure for every tiny app. You need to use it when your app has multiple features or you have more than one developer and long-term maintainability is important. This is future proofing, not over engineering. In general, the clean architecture gives you control over your app. It controls dependencies, controls complexity, controls growth. If your app grows, your architecture should grow with it. By following these principles, you can build professional, scalable Flutter apps. Thanks for watching. I hope this video gives you a solid foundation to structure large Flutter projects. To get time to practice this principle in your own apps. If this video helped you, make sure you hit the like button. It really supports the channel. Drop your questions or thoughts in the comment. I read every single one. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notification so you don't miss the upcoming videos in this Flutter series. If you want to see clean code in action, we will be using this architecture in our upcoming videos. So stay tuned for that.